December the 15th, 1967, 5:00 p.m. The Silver Bridge, a massive suspension bridge connecting Point Pleasant, West Virginia, to Ohio. It was filled with Christmas shoppers, families driving home, lovers holding hands. It stood as a symbol of connection, of safety, but in less than 60 seconds that safety would shatter, and 46 lives would be swallowed by the freezing dark waters below. But the tragedy of the Silver Bridge didn't start that day. It started exactly 13 months earlier, with a shadow in the sky, with glowing red eyes watching from the abandoned factories. This is not just a story about a bridge collapse. This is the story of a town under siege by the unknown. Welcome to Redacted Past. This is the complete timeline of the Mothman prophecies. To understand the fear, you have to understand the place. Point Pleasant is surrounded by deep woods. On the edge of town, there was an area called the TNT area. During World War II, they made explosives there. By the 1960s, it was a graveyard of concrete bunkers, abandoned, toxic, dark. The terror began on November the 12th, 1966. 5 men were digging a grave in a nearby cemetery. Suddenly, something massive lifted off from the trees nearby. It wasn't a plane. It looked like a man with wings. They watched in silence as it flew over their heads. 3 days later, the legend was born. 2 young couples, the Scarberrys and the Mallets, were driving past the TNT area. The car headlights hit something standing by the road. Linda Scarberry screamed. It was shaped like a man, but bigger. She told police later, maybe 6 or 7 feet tall, and it had big wings folded against its back. But it was the eyes that haunted her. 2 large red circles, glowing, hypnotic. The driver, Roger, slammed on the gas. They hit 100 miles per hour, but the creature didn't run. It opened its wings and ascended. It chased them, gliding right above their roof, screeching like a giant mouse. They drove straight to the sheriff's office. Sheriff George Johnson saw the fear in their faces. He knew they weren't lying. He said, "I've known these kids all their lives. They've never been in any trouble." They were terrified. News spreads fast in a small town. The next day, the press called it the Mothman, based on the villain from the Batman TV show. Hundreds of people armed with guns went into the TNT area to hunt it, but they found nothing. Instead, the phenomenon evolved. It wasn't just a monster anymore. People started reporting strange lights in the sky, cigar-shaped UFOs hovering over the Ohio River. TV sets in the town would explode or lose signal. Police radios were jammed with static noises that sounded like electronic screaming. A local reporter, Mary Heyer, began documenting everything. She realized this was an invasion. And then the visitors arrived. Not the Mothman, but men, strange men dressed in black suits that looked brand new. They drove black Cadillacs. Their skin was too pale, their mannerisms robotic. They visited witnesses. They visited Mary Heyer. Their message was always the same. Stop talking about the monster. Forget what you saw. Who were they? Government agents? Or something else entirely? Enter John Keel, an investigative journalist from New York, who came to Point Pleasant to solve the mystery. He expected a simple animal case. He found a nightmare. Keel spent nights in the TNT area. He interviewed hundreds of witnesses, but soon, the phenomenon targeted him. His motel phone would ring in the middle of the night. Strange metallic voices on the other end. They gave him predictions, prophecies. The Pope will be stabbed. A plane will crash. Some predictions came true. Most did not. It was a psychological game. Keel began to believe that the Mothman wasn't an animal, but an ultraterrestrial entity, a being that exists on a different frequency than us, and it was trying to tell him something. As December 1967 approached, the atmosphere in Point Pleasant grew heavy. People reported nightmares of people drowning in the river. John Keel felt a sense of impending doom. He warned Mary Heyer, something terrible is going to happen before Christmas. He thought it would be an explosion at the chemical plant. He was wrong. The monster had stopped appearing because its warning had already been delivered. December the 15th, 1967, the sun was setting, the air was freezing, the Silver Bridge was packed bumper to bumper. At 5:04 p.m., a loud crack echoed across the valley. Like a gunshot, a single-eye bar in the suspension chain had failed due to a microscopic fracture. Physics took over. The chain snapped, the towers twisted. In slow motion, the entire bridge flipped over. 37 vehicles fell into the Ohio River. The screams were silenced by the dark water. Rescue boats arrived within minutes, but it was too dark to see. John Keel wasn't there that day, but Mary Heyer was nearby. She watched her community destroyed in seconds. 46 people lost their lives. 2 bodies were never found. In the wreckage, they found Christmas presents floating in the water, toys for children who would never wake up. After the bridge fell, The Mothman was never seen again in Point Pleasant. The men in black vanished. The UFOs left. The 13 months of terror ended in silence. Skeptics say the Mothman was just a large owl, confused by flashlights. They say the bridge collapse was just poor engineering and bad luck. And maybe they are right, but ask the people of Point Pleasant. Ask the families who saw the red eyes staring at them through their windows. They believe the creature wasn't a killer, it was a witness, or perhaps, a warning that we failed to understand. Today, a statue of the Mothman stands in the center of the town, a tourist attraction built on a tragedy. But sometimes, late at night, when the fog rolls off, the river drivers still report seeing something in the sky, watching, waiting for the next disaster.